What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave. Did you guys see that thing from Nintendo yesterday, the Labo? We'll talk about that today because that has people all over the internet, all over the place, mixed. I do like the memes, though. The memes yesterday on Twitter were awesome for that. I thought it was really funny to read through some people's Twitter posts for that. It was a great time. Everyone was basically just taking cardboard boxes and calling it their Labo experience. There you go. We also heard that Fable might be making a revival, which is interesting to say the least, but the studio behind it actually gives me some hope for this revival of Fable. So let's get started today. So yesterday, leading up to the 5 p.m. Eastern My Time announcement, Nintendo let us know that it was mostly going to be geared towards kids or a younger audience or adults who were younger at heart is how they kind of said it. And I'm glad they told us that, because if this had been hyped up like the other one last week to be possibly like, oh, maybe they'll tell us about the Virtual Console or maybe a big announcement of like a new game or something, the internet might have actually burned down. That might have been a thing. But they at least warned us ahead of time, and from a child's perspective or a younger audience, this would actually be pretty exciting. Now, this is called the Labo, and it was introduced during this trailer, and the idea here is the Nintendo Labo uses cardboard to create structures to interact with the Switch and Joycon controllers. They introduced 2 kits, the Variety Kit for $69.99 and the Robot Kit for $79.99. And the way this is going to work is you build these structures with this cardboard that you order. It comes in a kit, you get it. It comes with a cartridge for software. I assume full instructions, although it looked like they were using instructions on the Switch itself with that cartridge, so it probably has them already built in. You're not going through like a paper manual or anything. You're doing everything with the Switch. Kind of neat there. But basically you build these structures, and then you use the Joy-Con, the Switch itself, to essentially play a game, bring them to life. Now what was cool was, at first I saw these and I said, okay, they're selling you cardboard, which they are. Technically, they're selling you cardboard. But what was really neat about everything they were showing was that the Joy-Con has become way more versatile than we originally thought. I mean, think about what they're doing with something like the piano, for example. We saw that piano and I said, wow, that's kind of neat. How does that work exactly with the keys? Because it's not actually hooked up to the Switch, right? And it's not. When they put that Joy-Con to the left of the piano and it kind of peers into the piano, what it's seeing are reflective strips that are on each individual key. So when you push down, it kind of pushes up, and the Joy-Con sees it, and then it plays that tone. So the IR receiver, the IR pointer on the Joy-Con is actually performing these tasks, and it seems to be doing it with a lot of these different structures that you're building. The fishing rod seems to be one that it's doing where it's using motion, I guess, to detect when you're spinning the reel. And of course, everyone looked at the robot and was like, oh, here we go. Listen, the robot is something that people are going to enjoy. Kids especially are going to enjoy it. There will be adults who enjoy it, but it's definitely, as we've seen, as Nintendo let us know beforehand, it's geared towards kids. It might not be geared towards myself or you. However, I look at this and I see the same people who like Legos will probably like this. Now, we also found out that you actually don't have to buy any of the cardboard, apparently. Per IGN France, they let us know that you can just download, the printout, the schematics, if you will, and then I guess you can print them out yourselves. You can cut the cardboard out yourself. This was very odd. There's still a lot of details that are unknown. We'll probably know more when it actually comes out and people are buying it and downloading the schematics, I guess. Apparently, they will also offer replacement cardboard pieces, as people were concerned, oh, if somebody breaks this robot leg part, do I have to go buy a whole nother $80 kit? Not the case, it looks like. Looks like you will be able to get full replacement cardboard pieces rather than the whole kit. That includes the software. I'm not really sure how much that software costs, but I'm sure that's adding probably half to maybe more than half the price just from that cartridge alone that has the game, because I guess it's a full game. And this is where we're going to get into some of the parts that concern me about this product. One, what's the longevity of these games that you're playing? I mean, is the whole point of it building them like Legos, where the whole point is the journey of building it, and then you have it finished? Like maybe you're building an X-Wing or something. Do you then just take that X-Wing and set it up, and you look at it like we do with Legos? The whole point is to build them, or do you take it apart and rebuild something else? That seems to be kind of the idea here, because they showed people building these things a lot and only playing with them a little bit. Now, I think the robot will at least have a lot of people playing it for fun and maybe sharing it with their friends. Like, hey, come try this out. We're robot apparently today. Or your kids will, I guess, pass it around and hopefully not break it. But what else do you do? Because I saw a lot of these games that looked like tech demos, right? The longevity part is, what other kits do they have, and can they attract third parties with their IPs. Because if you notice, I didn't see Mario the whole time. I didn't see Link from Zelda. I didn't see anyone from Splatoon, for example. I didn't see any characters that Nintendo has worked years branding and building up brand awareness for. This was seriously just its own thing. I guess we saw what was a giant robot from the Wii U from 2015 that some people recognize, most didn't. So they're not trying to push this with their IPs, which tells me more and more that this is not for the gamer at all. This is more for, hey, if you have kids and you would like to build this stuff together, which actually, if you do, this seems like really a great product to buy, and then you and like your 10 or 11-year-old son or daughter can put this together. That makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, when they opened up the contraption for the piano and you look in, there's pulleys and they show the robot that has like full plastic and steel grommets, and you have all of these strings and ropes going everywhere. It looks kind of intricate. It looks like something that will take some time to build and is set up for someone who's a little older and someone who's a little younger to kind of put it together, because of course the younger audience is going to have fun with it when it gets all put together more so than probably the adult. But the idea is bonding, putting it together, and enjoying it there. I just want to see if they can get people like Activision to bring Spyro, right? They had no problem throwing them into Skylanders. I would like to see if maybe Sega shows up with Sonic. There are a lot of IPs out there, and I could see why some third parties were probably excited for this, because it's another way they can make money without building, say, full-fledged AAA games. They could build something like this, like they did with Skylanders, for example, and then there are all these add-on pieces. It seems like an easy way to use the Switch in a different way than most of us have been using it. Also, I want to point out, last I checked on Amazon before filming, it's already jumped to 4th place on Amazon, the robot kit. So people are buying it. People are going to buy it. Maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not for me. But it's definitely for somebody, as we see here. It does launch April 20th, and we'll just, we'll take a look. I'll see if I can get a kit and take it apart and see if it's worth the money and if it is actually fun. I think I want the variety kit more than the robot, just because it looked like there was a lot of stuff you could check out. And honestly, that piano has me kind of interested to see how that works exactly. So it'd be interesting. Next up, let's talk about this reported revival of Fable. It got me really excited when I heard about this. We kind of heard rumors of this, 3 weeks ago, and now we heard more rumors about this from Eurogamer, except generally when they report some of this stuff, they do some research and they figure stuff out, and it looks like they have found out that a Fable revival is in the works. It's very early stages right now, according to them, but this is where things get interesting. It's going to use Playground. Microsoft's going to use Playground to build this thing. Now, if you've played Forza Horizon, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Playground made what I think still to this day is the best Forza game ever made in Forza Horizon 3. It was a lot of fun. They add the Hot Wheels tracks in, the DLC. Super crazy, awesome, great time there, right? Really fun. And now they're going to try something different. I like when these studios have success with something like a racing game, and then they possibly go over to something like Fable, right? Something completely different than what they're trying, because they've proven to me that they can build an open world game with Forza Horizon 3. Now I want to see them take that over to something like Fable, where according to Eurogamer sources, they're starting from straight up just scratch. They're just starting from like ground zero, wiped off the chalkboard, the whiteboard. They're going from the beginning. So I want to see what they can come up with here. Eurogamer has said that they have ramped up to 200 employees. There are 200 developers building this thing. But don't expect it soon, and this is where it gets interesting. I think this is going to be a launch game for the next Xbox. I think they're about 2 to 3 years out, and I think that's going to fall in line for when the next Xbox comes out. It'll either be a year one game or a launch title game, something to show off what the next Xbox can do, and why not? A brand new open world game built from scratch for the Xbox brand makes a ton of sense, and I hope to see them do this because I really liked the first Fable. The second one was fun. Third one kind of lost me. But the first one, man, when I was playing that back in high school on the original Xbox, mind-blowing. It was amazing. Bought it again on the PC, played through it again. I would love to get that rekindled wonder from that first game again. And if it's kind of tied in with a brand new system to show off its capabilities, it could be pretty cool. Either way, this will just be good for Microsoft to have another IP, something other than Halo, Gears, and Forza. You could say, hell, they have Halo, Gears, Forza, and Fable. Cool. Next up, let's talk about the Media Create sales charts. These, of course, come out every week and tell us what happened the week prior in Japan for sales. Now, these are the post-holiday charts, so they're going to be well down from the holiday season, but we're going to take a look at them anyway. We did have the big release of Dissidia, which you're going to see here, topping the charts at number 1, 105,667 sold on the PS4, and then most of the other games here are ones that have already been out. Splatoon 2 at number 2. That is, by the way, going to get close to 2 million units, probably over the next week or two. Should pass 2 million units, probably sometime, I would say, in February or the final week in January if there is a big spike. Super Mario Odyssey, number 3. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Mario Party the top 100, Zelda, Earth Defense Force, Yokai Watch, Busters 2, and then ARMS to round out the top 10. The PS4 at the top, 43,808, heavily down from 91,683. Below that, the Switch, 37,500, well down from, that's over 100,000 down from 146,000. 3DS, 16,855. The PS Vita, 4,388. The Xbox One, 113. Of that 113, 6 of those were Xbox One X's. So this is the standard post-holiday slump where everything is out of stock. Tons of pictures circulating around the internet showing that the Switch was heavily out of stock, heavily supply constrained. As we would expect, Nintendo, I'm sure, put a lot of effort getting stock into stores in December, and it's kind of regrouping or rebuilding, if you will, going into February. I would like to see them get this all situated by the end of January, going into February. Hopefully the last week of January, we see 70, 80,000. It's kind of business as usual going into February, but we'll see. The PS4 did well, even though it dropped off. I think it caught itself a little bit because Dissidia came out. 100,000 units for Dissidia, not bad. I heard that it fell off heavily in the arcade. It became less popular. And then, of course, the game comes out for home console use, not a portable system like they've seen with the previous iterations. It's not going to do as well. I mean, if you go back and look at the first one, it sold over 400,000 on the PSP, over 200,000 for the second one on the PSP, and now just over 100,000 for the PS4 version. Either way, as the best-selling thing this week, as we'd expect, since it was really the only real release of the week, and it had Final Fantasy attached to it. In our last bit of news, let's talk about Metal Gear Survive. So, Metal Gear Survive has had a very rocky development, very rocky presentation, unveiling, I guess you'd say, because it's not really Metal Gear, at least not how fans remember Metal Gear at all. It goes completely away from what it's supposed to be. Even Kojima himself has responded by saying that's not Metal Gear at all, not what my original vision was, and fans kind of understand that. But what do you do to get in the fans' good graces? Well, you make sure the game is always online, and you make sure there are tons of microtransactions in it. At least that's Konami's strategy, according to GameSpot, where they talk to different people at Konami about the game, how it's going, and they decided to let us know that it is absolutely always online. Now, we found out about this a while ago, but whenever we see this stuff on the store, we always think, maybe it's a typo, maybe it's an accident. We'll see when it actually comes out. Well, no, it is just always online. You need to have an internet connection at all times. Despite there being a 15 to 20 hour single player mode, you need to be connected to the internet, which will eliminate more people than I think Konami realizes here. It's not a game people are super excited for right now, and you're adding this barrier. It's not going to help. Microtransactions, not new. It's in everything now. Metal Gear Solid 5 had microtransactions, so that's not a barrier. You just won't buy them. It's more annoying than anything else. You're just annoying the fans more and more. You should be doing whatever you can to get people into this game, right? Not putting up these walls, these barriers. I don't feel good about the Metal Gear Survive launch. I don't think it's going to do well. And I'm concerned maybe Konami writes off Metal Gear at that point, and that might be it. I hope that's not the case. They say they want to blend single player and co-op action by having it always online, so I guess people can invade your game or friends can join, but I don't know. It seems weird to do something where we're so used to Metal Gear Solid being a single player game first, and then they had multiplayer stuff in the other versions. I don't know. I don't like this. I haven't liked this game since they've shown it. A lot of people haven't, but I'm going to give it a shot when it comes out. The beta's coming up today, going through the 22nd, so I guess I'll try it out a little bit and see, but I'm not liking what I'm hearing so far, but I guess we'll find out and see how it actually plays. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for Newswave today. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, really helps out. If not, hit the dislike. Leave a bunch of comments down below about any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is the Nintendo Labo. Maybe you are excited for it. Maybe you have kids and you're like, this is something I can work with them on, or maybe you're just buying it for yourself because, well, you like Legos, you like building stuff, and this seems like kind of the next step, right? Where it becomes interactive with a game system. You know, you build it and then you're actually playing whatever you built. I think that's kind of a cool idea, and I want to see where they go with it. I would like to see them actually stick with it. I would like to see it not go the same path as something like a Guitar Hero or a Rock Band or even a Skylanders at this point, Disney Infinity, because these interactive toys have kind of fallen off a bit. The one thing I will at least give Nintendo is they were originally a toy company and they just happened to be good at video games. So they do have a lot of experience with toys despite people not realizing this. So I guess if there's one company that can bring toys and interactive toys to video games, I guess it's Nintendo. I mean, they did it with the Amiibos, didn't they? I mean, that's the way it goes there. Also, let me know what you think about Metal Gear Survive, and are you looking forward to it, or have they just done nothing but put you off of Metal Gear Solid in general? I guess do you miss the old days of Metal Gear Solid, or maybe prefer the survival style Metal Gear game with zombies? That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time.